This is the Logitech G402. This is a gaming mouse that I've had for a whole year. And what I'm going to do today is give you my 100% honest opinions on my thoughts and what I've learned from using this mouse for a year. Now, first off, it does look like a pretty nice quality mouse. Now, what the quality really does show through, though, is actually in the insides and when you start using it. So first off, you've got a lot of keys on the side right here to customize, and people like to change these to whatever they like. I like these a lot. Now, one of my favorite keys is something that you don't actually get to change. It's this key right here. It allows you to set the custom, sensitivity of the mouse as you're going through. Now you're going, well, what does that have to mean? Well, when you're going through and you're playing your games, we'll just play PUBG for example, you need to get that sniper shot. And that when, you need to get those slight angles when someone's really far away, this button comes in real handy for positioning your cursor exactly where it needs to be. Now obviously you can do this without the sensitivity, but this is a really nice game changer. I understand other mouses have that, and I understand there are other mouses that do this as well. I'm just saying that's one of the features I like about it. Now, these keys can also be customized however you like, and to be honest with you, it doesn't really make a big difference on these little specialized options right here. I like them. It's not really a big deal. You can customize them. People can do whatever they like. I've used it for things. Oh well. One of the things that I will say that I like is just the fact that overall this feel of this mouse feels really high quality. You can't really go wrong with something that's actually as sturdy as this mouse. I've had multiple mouses I've reviewed recently that are, well, light, feel cheap, or have kind of cut out in certain places. This mouse all around is a high quality feeling mouse. The only place I would say that kind of is debatable is this cord that connects the mouse. This USB cable can be arguable, which I'll get to later on. One of the other things I don't necessarily like about this mouse is the fact that this mouse has the RGB customization feature, but it doesn't really have like the music or any of the kind of cool stuff that I think really should be in RGB mouses nowadays, this custom software and stuff. As for pretty much the rubber and stuff, this actually has a nice rubber side panel right here, which I actually like to use. It's got a nice grip. There's also rubber on this side, but everything else is just this plastic, which to be honest with you, at this time is pretty much, especially with all these new mouses coming out, this rubber is actually pretty nice for getting a good grip on stuff. As for feel, it feels pretty normal. I mean, there's better feeling mouses, and I would not say this is a 10 out of 10. I feel like this mouse is probably maybe a 5 out of 10, just because it's not necessarily the most comfortable mouse, but it has all the features, and I mean, it's also manageable. Like, I personally would feel something for these two fingers right here. I feel like that would do a little bit better, but honestly, this mouse feels big enough, because the last mouse that I had was actually really small, and this mouse of course fits in my hand pretty well. But keep in mind I do have pretty big hands, so it's not necessarily that you might have to think about, I'll review this other mouse that I had previously, but you might have to keep in mind the size of your hand, because this is someone that's really got a big hand. And if you have a small hand, you may only reach these two keys here, and you may not get full access to all your other buttons and customization keys as well. So you may have to move your hand or get something else. I would recommend this if you have a big hand, adults, people that are out there that are more older with big, grown up a little bit more, that I would recommend this mouse. Now the other mouse I will review will definitely be a kid's mouse, and I'll explain on that video why. So one of the other things I want to talk about though is wear. As you can tell, from my last video, I did a keyboard review of the past keyboard, or the keyboard I used for the past year. One of the biggest things I had about it was that all the keys, especially the keys I use the most, wore off. Well, first off I want to talk about those keys I use the most. Well, obviously this key gets a lot of use, and obviously this key gets a lot of use. But some of the other keys also get a lot of use, and they have no sign of wear and tear. Well, yes, it is a little messy, got a few specks of dirt and stuff on it, but none of it looks like it is wear from just continued use. Yes, it's a little bit shiny, not really. Honestly, I couldn't tell you if it's brand new. I'm sure if I washed this up, I wouldn't be able to tell if it was new or not. This mouse works perfectly fine, and it looks new. Now, where I will say there's a lot of wear is on the bottom. These pads that's supposed to allow for smooth gliding really don't hold up too well. Honestly, I'm looking at it, and it does not look that good. It looks really scratched up. You think that when I first got this, it was similar to the nice shiny plastic we have here. Now when you look at it, it is completely unbearable. You cannot see, it's not shiny or reflective at all. It is literally just a scratched up mess. So that is pretty much what the bottom of the mouse looks like. As for my honest opinion when I go through and play the game, I honestly have no complaints. Playing games with it is not any problem. Nice high precise rate. One of the things I do want to talk about, which I think I mentioned earlier, is this cord. Now this cord looks pretty cheap. Honestly, I'm going to be 100%. If you just looked at this video and you said, what kind of mouse is this? You'd probably be saying it looks like one of the default, what is it, mouses that come with like the desktops, like the Dell, Lenovo, all the different brand default mouses. Which, I mean, especially if you're paying this amount of money that you're paying for this mouse, I would expect something at least similar to what we saw on the last keyboard. So this, honestly, this cord, I mean, right up to about here, it does look pretty cheap. And I feel like they could have not cheaped out, especially I like the fact that the keyboard that I reviewed yesterday had a nice cord that was all had that rope cloth finish around it that really made it feel high quality. This, I really couldn't say the same thing. So as I said, for overall opinion of it, I'd give it maybe around a 8 out of 10. It's a really nice mouse for what you need to do. But I will say that there are some other mouses out there. If you're willing to cut out a little bit on your RGB customization and a couple of the keys, you can get a really good mouse for something like 10 bucks compared to the 20 to 50 bucks you can get this for. So without further ado, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you check out my channel for other cool tech related things, and also my Discord server in the description to talk with other cool techies about stuff like this. And of course, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.